Yo, chat. What's up? Hey, Pia. Nice to see you again. How's life? Just stopping in to say hi. Currently quite far behind on my algebra homework. I'll do you in a few hours. Enjoy your algebra homework then in that case. What are you currently doing in algebra? Or what's your homework about? Or we can maybe talk another time. Don't worry. Rings. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Alright. But don't worry. We can chat another time. No worries. I'll just go ahead and... What's my category even? Okay, software stuff. Let's do some Manim stuff, I think. Wait, I forgot how to stream. There we go. That should be fine. That's horrendously unclean, but maybe... Oh, true, I wanted to investigate that. I think that's the... Make file writes. Manim has so many dependencies. I hate it. I also don't think we can get rid of something easily. Is there something that's being added somewhere? Something very weird is happening with setup tools, and I'm not sure what exactly. Let's try. Did I do something here? I upgraded PyTest, I remember. Oh, that was still from last stream when we debugged the thing that we found, or with me, I mean Naveen. Okay, you know what? Discard. We discard all of that. I do have a very specific thing in mind that I want to do today. It's one of the pull requests, and we'll see. Yo, Vikonos. Nice to see you. How are you doing? What was that one? Doesn't even show changes. Must be white space. Discard. What's that? Your class test and set. Oh, that's test data from something. What else do we have here? I suddenly remember. All of it was from last time. What are we doing? We are taking care of a annoying bug. Let's see. I can reduce it without checking. I'll pull, and maybe I'll also enter my virtual environment. Poetry shell. Yo, is the font large enough for you guys? Should I make it larger? Should be fine, right? Otherwise, just say something. Happy to increase or decrease or whatever. So we are doing some Python, some Manim to be more precise. And let's close all of that because otherwise I will be confused in like 5 minutes if I want to. Can't be that important. Okay, so let's touch example scenes bug pie from Manim import star. Here's the thing that I want to work. And maybe it works already in some sense, but it doesn't in all possible ways, I think. We write a scene where we play an animation in a group or in a succession, and then we set the runtime of the succession or the group, and it will not propagate cleanly to the runtime of the individual elements. So let me show you what I mean exactly. Let's try with the group first. Group test scene def construct. We need like 2 squares aligned next to each other, maybe. 2 squares. S1, S2. Actually, that's bad. Square S left, S right. Square, square. And we want to arrange these two V S left and S right. Arrange right. All right. Now they are in the center. They are aligned from left to right. Now what I want to do is I want to play an animation group with where we first left shift animate shift up, and the right one we will shift down. Right and shift down. All right, if we play it like that, and maybe even set a lag ratio of 1, so that one is played after the other. All right. Completeness, and then we go in there. Manim QM P bug group test. Let's go. I hope that works today. Ah, it's opening the. Something's up with my graphical WSL stuff. It did work for the longest time, and now apparently it doesn't anymore, which is annoying because now I have to open it manually. But well, we can do that as well. Reveal in Explorer. Show us your secrets. Like actually. Oh wait, that was the wrong one. This one. There we go. Media, videos, bug. This one. There we go. Not now, thank you. Okay, so we have an animation group which lasts in total 3 seconds now. That's 2 seconds for each component of the group. I can probably just leave this open and replay whenever I want to. It's probably the best choice for now. And what does not work is, I think, let's try, if I set the runtime of this animation group, so something like this. Runtime equals 3. Then let's remove the -p here. And then if we look at the thing again, oops. Oh, but that seemed to work. I think maybe animation group doesn't even have the bug that I wanted to fix. Wait, let's make it more obvious. 10 seconds we will surely see. I think those are my favorite bugs, the ones that I don't even have to fix. Yeah, that's definitely going slower, right, chat? That's definitely slower. So that's 5 seconds or something like that each for each of the parts of the group, which is exactly what I wanted. Okay, Well then. Why did I think this was broken? Oh, but I know why I think this is broken. I still think it is broken actually. Not with the animation group maybe, but it's it will be probably broken for the succession, special animation group. Oh yeah, now I closed it out of reflex. That's what I usually do. Oh yeah, that seems to work well as well. Does the lag ratio actually do the thing it's supposed to do? It's kind of hard to see. So this lag ratio of 0.25 means that after a quarter of the first animation is finished, the second one should start playing as well. Should be noticeable. I closed the thing again, didn't I? Yes. I did. Oh yeah, it is starting. It's definitely starting early. All right. All right. All right. All right. Then let's try again with a succession. And this time, I'm fairly sure that this will not do the thing it should. Is it angry? Oh, maybe it just... So if you put 5 seconds now, then what I reckon will happen is, because that's what I read in the bug report, what I think will happen is that the duration of the first two animates will be unchanged. So that should be 1 second each, and then afterwards nothing for 3 seconds. And then there's the wait in the end. Let's see. I closed the thing. That will happen a lot today, I feel. Yeah, exactly. So there's the bug. That's the bug. This is the bug. We want to fix this behavior. Which means that we have to change how runtime pass to succession works. Let's check the implementation, I would say. Composition. Class succession. Okay, it initializes the animation with certain runtime and everything. That's fine. Update objects, set up scene, update active animation. Current time equals self rate function alpha times self runtime. That looks like it would. What's active end time? Wait, what are these? What are these things? So my hypothesis would be that these here are incorrect. Okay, we'll have to figure out how exactly things work here, or whether we maybe just do something else. How does it start usually? So there should be a begin, which sets the it has an active index, which is the index of the currently active animation. In a succession, all of the animations are played one after the other. Let me maybe tune down the music a little bit. That's perhaps better. Okay. This takes care of the edge case that we've run past the number of animations in the group, so that's just that part. And otherwise, this is the thing that's actually run. The active animation attribute is set to whatever the currently active animation is. Active animation is calling setup scene, which is also fine. And active animation is calling the begin method, that's also fine. And then it sets the start time and the end time from this weird animation with timings thingy, which is built somewhere else. I think that's up in animation group somewhere. But that's also basically just a tuple which contains I think the animation, its relative start point and its relative end point in the group. And the animation group is sorta behaving interestingly when you set a different runtime, if I remember correctly. Namely, what it does is, so this is here somewhere. The animations with timings are built, right? And they are solely built on the past lag ratio and the start and the runtime specified by the past animations. This is completely independent of the actual runtime that the animation group is set to. Which is explained here. The runtime of animation group has been set to something other than its default. And the default is... the default is I remember now. The default is calculated usually. I think the runtime for the animation group is by default none. Yeah.
Sechonet just resubscribed for 7 months, and another month being here, Pog.
Yo. Welcome back, Sechonet. Actually, why... Wait, I have to check something. Give me a moment. I actually redid all of the follow animations, and now I'm slightly confused why you get the old one. Didn't I save that? Give me one moment, I'll quickly check. Oh my god. There we go. I think I know what I did wrong. Let me quickly check it, fix it. Quickly fixing. Settings. Oh, subscriber alert. Variations. Ah, yes. That was my bad. We change. Yes, that's the one I want. we save. Subscriber gift. We change also to that one, I guess. Should maybe change these two at some point. And then this one. We change again. Submit. Save. Okay, done. Sorry. And now I should save the stuff somewhere. And then I can maybe just replay the thing so that it uses the correct. Let me see whether I can do that. Look at that. There we go.
Sechonet just resubscribed for 7 months, and another month being here, Pog.
Enjoy your emotes. There we go. Actually redid most of the emotes that we have, so also there is now these. I actually love this one. It's basically the one you just saw. Oh, look at that. I'm a 1 year subscriber of myself. Amazing. 1 year already, really. Time flies. Okay, where were we? Right. The runtime is usually set to none of an animation group. And then it's set to whatever the init runtime thing computes. And the init runtime thing builds the animations with timing without regarding the runtime of the outer animation group in any sense. And then it returns the max end time, or if a runtime was passed, it returns that. And if a runtime was passed, I'm not sure why this is. I don't think it's necessary to write this in such a complicated way, I think. But anyhow, it's already here. And then we have here, yeah, just the computation in the interpolate method, which controls how the animation is actually progressed. And then here it curiously uses max end time. Wait, that confuses me. Why does it use self max end time? Shouldn't that be runtime? Kind of feel it should. No, it's fine. It's fine. This doesn't care at all. This doesn't care at all. The interpolate function doesn't care at all. It just needs to... Because the runtime would only change how often and with which distance the interpolate method is called. So if the distance between neighboring alpha values is larger or smaller, that would be what the actual runtime controls. But this one here needs to scale it to the max end time. That's perfectly fine. And then what we actually want to know is this. What we actually want to know is this. If you do something similar now for the succession, then we would need to do something over here, I guess. So this, the fact that this scales with self.runtime is actually wrong. And this should scale with whatever the max end time is. Is that being set for init runtime? Is probably set, I would say. So if we replace this by max runtime, max end time, sorry. What happens then? Need to disable caching. I would say that's fixed. Easy clap. The question is, do I need to do anything else, or is this actually it? This looks pretty good. So now the succession, and this works for arbitrary values of the runtime, right? So if I put 10 here, then it would scale the left and right animate accordingly, I guess. Yeah, 300 frames is already pretty good. Or it's at least the correct amount of frames. And now all that needs to happen is that this looks like it would do 5 seconds just the one thing, and then 5 seconds just the other thing. Yeah, looks right. Okay. Easy. Easy. And I think this actually fixes a few other bugs that we currently have as well, where people try to submit pull requests to fix stuff. I think this was one of those. $25.63, I think, was the issue that was reported here. Circumscribe something, runtime is set outside of that. Then it should. Let's try and check. Class succession. No, not succession. Circumscribe test. Scene. Def construct self. T is text. Hello Twitch chat. Self play write text. Self wait. Just wait. Self play circumscribe T. And then we set outside of that a runtime of 5 seconds. Could also do a minute or something like that. Ridiculous. Okay, let's check whether this works. Circumscribe test. Let's go. It was fast, wasn't it? I'm skeptical. Let's see. Oh, but that looked correct, didn't it? So the circumscribe starts like here at the 2 seconds mark. Does it? Yeah, pretty much like here. And then it goes for pretty much 5 seconds, I would say. The way the line moves is kind of silly, but okay. All right. Well, I mean, if that's it, then I think we can just submit a PR fixing this. It's done, I guess. Oh, let me turn on some light. Take a moment or two until it realizes what's bright and what isn't. Or maybe my light is just too bright. One of these days I'll actually get proper light. One of these days. But this is fine for now, I guess. Okay, well, that was actually much faster than I expected. I suppose we do something with that. Git status. Git checkout minus B. Fixed succession time scale. Runtime. The question is, can we write a test for this somehow? Which works. And the answer is yes, we can, but it would probably need to be a graphical test. I don't think we can do it without one. I guess it's fine. Let's write the test. I'll do a triangle that's being circumscribed or something like that. Or can I do it somehow with a unit test? Do we have tests for succession already? Test composition. Test succession timing. Okay. I'll fetch myself something to drink. I'll be right back. I'll think whether we can get around of using a graphical unit test or whether we need to put one. We'll see. Be right back, chat. We can. Ah, that's fun. I didn't know that. Do that. Oh, let's go. Ooh. Wait, can I? Oh my god. mark this point A. Ah, there it is. Why am I so blind? Be right back, chat. I'm back. Not still on tweeting right now, but do you know if there's any... Wait, did it stop playing? Why did it stop playing? I thought it would keep on Twitch chat doing whatever. Oh, it's doing it. Anyhow, do you know if there's any practical way of replacing stuff in a string type list from a dict without pandas? What? In a string type list from a dict. Give an example. Me no understand. Okay. We write the test somehow, but first I commit this. Still don't know how we will write the test. I pretty much only changed this and it works. In terms of fixes, this was one of the nicer ones. Fixed runtime scaling of succession. Commit. And now I want a test. How would we test? I know how we can test. I know how we can test. I can call interpolate manually. And we can, after I've called interpolate, we can check which the currently active animation is. And if it's the right one, you have to decode something in a list using a cipher in a dict. You will need to get more concrete than that. I still don't exactly know what you want. In the meantime, I'll write a test for this. So, succession. Here. There we go. Def test time scaled succession. We need one object. No, we need multiple objects. It's better. I don't care. D1, D2, D3. Dot. Oh, is dot not imported yet? S1, S2, S3 is square. Square. I can't type today. Square. Then we will build a succession. Animation equals. Wait, should I call it animation? Just adding. Succession of some things. I don't know. Fade in S1. Wait, should I make it nicer? And give that one a runtime of 2 seconds, and then the other get a runtime of 1 second each. S2 animate shift up. S3. Why don't I just use fade ins for all of them? Fade in S2, fade in S3. All right, and now we go and we begin, and then we interpolate. Oh wait, I should also set the runtime of the succession. Manim.runtime equals 42. Yeah, that's fine. So what technically should happen now is that for the first half of the animation, I'll just pass a relative value anyway. Anyhow, no, but it's fine. But it's fine. I think this is something that didn't work before. Regardless, we can check actually. We can check whether this test passes the previous version without anything. So if we look after point 2 and then check the currently active index, then this should be 0 because it's still the 0th animation that's being played. If we interpolate to point 4, then it should be the same. If we go and interpolate to point 6, then we are at 60%, 50%. So this, according to this here, 50% is the first animation, then 25 the second, and 25 the third. Which means that if we check after 60%, then the active index should be 1. And finally, if we check after 80%, then the active index should be 2. And that's it. Let's see whether this test passes. Oh my god. What did I do? Text? What? What are you doing? That's not even the file I'm looking at. Wait, what? Why is there unused? What happened in here? Oh no, and the worst thing is that it was me. Wait, it's a 0 test passed. Oh, is it the weird? I know what it is, I think. PyTest. I think this is unhappy about the distribution thingy again. Is that possible? Yeah. Okay. Now we passed one test that we didn't pass before. And now I actually would like to test the new thing. Aha. What? Succession object has no attribute seen. Wait, what? Oh. Oh. I might have to... Oh, that's annoying. Maybe we can mock that somehow. Maybe we can mock that somehow. Let me check. Close. Wait, where did I mock something already? Unitest.mock, import magic, mock. Maybe that does the trick already. Oh, it's already here. That's actually the same file. Funny. Manim.scene equals magic mock. Oh. Try again. Maybe it works. It does. Easy. And now the question would be, would this also have passed with the previous version? And I think I can just... where was that? Here? I mean, there's more elaborate ways of doing that. I'm aware of that, but... Or actually, I can just check out main. It's probably even easier. Check out main. Test again. Failed. Yep. Thought so. Yes, so after 20% of this one, actually also already the number 3 is active. Which is wrong. And we just fixed that. Good job. Git check out fixed succession runtime. I wonder what else. I should check the banner animation maybe. That's the one thing that usually tends to break if I change things somehow. Well, actually there could be multiple things that are broken now. Or broken. Fixed, I would say, but... you know what? Let's just run all of the tests in here. All of the animation tests. Do it. Oh, did it pass? Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, so I'm actually happy with this. We can at least commit this. Looks good, right? I am fine with this. Stage changes. Added test for succession times for runtime set after creation, after initialization. Okay, git push upstream my thing fixed succession runtime. There we go. Open new pull request. Fixed setting runtime of class dot succession after creating the animation object. And I think even Maybe even before it was... No, certainly not. Certainly not. This is a bug fix. What does this pull request change? We'll say something here. Because we wanted to fix 2563. Fixes 2563 for succession. Leonasu, thanks for following. For succession, it gives me great joy to see my animated thingy pop up. So thank you. For succession, the runtime animation runtime was not interpolated processed correctly if the runtime attribute was set after creation of the animation object. This happens, for example, if runtime keyword argument of scene.play is passed like this. Python self.play succession. One is too many. Succession. It's a wonder that I one and two whatever. Runtime equals 42. In that case, sorry, I got distracted for a moment. In that case, I don't think I need to say anything else. Maybe I should say this supersedes a few other PRs, I think. At least one. This also supersedes. So, which PRs does this succeed? This one, 2913. 13. And this might actually be it already. But it's possible that this also closes a few other issues. I always hope that, at least, because we have so many open ones. Succession. Let's see whether people complain about succession. Succession not working properly with runtime argument of scene.play. Ooh. What? Apparently, I at some point in May explained already why this should be fixed and how. Oh well, I could not remember that. Well, fixes this one, fixes... Which one was that? 2711. Something else. Transform chain in succession, unexpected behavior. That's probably something else. Yes, that's not... That's not something that we can change, I think. Maybe we can actually. It's possible that this is fixed by now. It's possible. I wouldn't bet on it exactly, but it's possible. Shall we check? We shall, right? Manim min minus QM bug transform test. Go, do your thing. Okay, it's not fixed yet. Okay, there was an attempt. Whoop. Succession should reuse more code of animation group. Yeah, that's... Succession should be animation group with lag ratio equal 1. Yeah, that's actually true. There's not a real good reason why succession is treated so differently. But whatever. One change at a time, I think. Yeah, I think that's everything, I guess. I wonder whether... let's check the banner. The banner is usually, that's what I said before, the banner is usually the thing that likes to break. Class, banner, test, scene, def construct, self. Banner equals money. Banner. Dark theme equals true. Self dot play. Create. That works. Returns an animation group. Okay. Self dot play. Banner expand. Self dot wait. Let's see whether this works. You would assume that we had a test for that. You would assume wrong. Let's check video output. That actually seems fine. Surprisingly. Well, that's not fine. Why is the A? Why is the A in front of the square? Nothing is in front of the square. Except for the A. I feel like that's a problem, but I don't think that's something I've caused right now. Very likely. We could check again. Let's maybe do that. Disable caching. Let's go. Show me the banner again. Okay, it was broken before. Actually, the banner seemed to be fine before as well. What I'm curious though is, did the banner play well with setting the runtime? Runtime equals 3 seconds, runtime equals 5 seconds for expansion. Do you think? I would be willing to bet that no. Well, that was not 5 seconds, was it? Did we fix that, maybe? Fixed succession. Why doesn't it know which branch I want to be on? What was my branch called? Fixed succession runtime. I would have known. Let's try to render again the banner. Curious. Will it be fixed? Chances are that yes, it might be. And look at that. It actually is fixed. Nice. So that was a succession there. Well done. Well done. Well done. I have committed this already. Test. Yes, it's already there. Well, then let's push, I guess. Should I run all of the tests locally first? Nah, for that we have a CI pipeline. There we go. So we fixed 2 issues. We supersede one further one. I think that's good. The change, the fix. I have also included a test for this fix. Oh, we should perhaps add a link to this PR from the. Oh no, it's fine. I usually don't do that. I want to add a link in the test file. Create. I guess. We could add it to the board as well. Okay, do your work. Do your job, GitHub. Do your job. First up, the pre-commit thingy will complain. Because it usually does that. I could finally set up the hook on my end, so it doesn't always need to add an additional commit, but well, we are here already. I also remember there was a weird thing about the pre-commit CI being updated and not working anymore properly. Where was that? This was a PR that I actually wanted to review ages ago already. This is now superseded. Did we fix anything else? No, would have been nice maybe. That's it for now. I think that's it for now. I could just commit the changes I've suggested here. Not wearing pants has not commented back to me, but I mean it's not too surprising given it took me like 3 weeks to look at this PR. Where is... Oh, it did not complain. Wow. Well then. I'm curious whether our read the docs thingy is currently still building successfully sometimes. Yes. It's the current build time, 950 seconds. That's not too bad. Do we have something that's really way too long? Scaled vector field function takes 20 seconds to render. Continuous motion and animation. Well, that's the vector streamlines thing, yeah. Takes a minute about. Oh, you can't read anything, sorry, chat. Moving zoomed scene around, 30 seconds to render. 14 seconds for the 3D camera rotation. 15 seconds for opening Manim. LaTeX template library interestingly takes long. Creation module. Yeah, I mean, nothing new, I think. Those are the well-known baddies. Output and config. The square to circle 3 takes 7 seconds to render? Wait, what? Yeah. High quality. Me again. Okay, alright. Four warnings. Wait, what? Why are there warnings? There shouldn't be warnings. I usually fix those. No. No. Is it just those? It's just those. Okay, X-links. Wait, what? Why is there a warning? On I X-links. I think we just have 1% S in there, don't we? It's just like a deprecation thingy that is printed here. Kind of annoys me. Okay, anyhow. I guess this is it now. I guess this is it. How do our pipelines do? Self-hosted ones are already done and passed, which is nice. So it can't be too bad. Can't be too bad. Okay, in that case. Sorry, chat. There was a message. Okay, regardless. I don't think we wait for all of those. It would be nice if someone would check my changes. But we don't have a lot of active reviewers right now, so if nobody checks them, then we can also probably just merge them eventually. I'll give people some time. Maybe someone wants to have a look. Ready for review. Milestone, that's fine. It closes just one of those. 2711? No? No results? Wait, what? Is this not... This is an issue. What are you doing, GitHub? Why is this sometimes so buggy? Did I do something wrong here? Do I have to, like... do something like this? Now it found 2711. That's sometimes so weird. I'm not sure why. Okay, but it's looking good. I think we can just keep this here and, well, come back to it eventually. Shall we just commit the fixes to the thing directly to the main branch? I think we should. Check out main win-get. Oh yeah, that's too short. Done. And now let's check whether we cleaned out the build errors. Docs. Make clean R. Make O equals... oh, make HTML. O equals skip. There we go. The skip flag is so that it doesn't build all of the examples that we have in the documentation. Otherwise, it takes a long time for, well, something that I'm not really interested in right now. The question is whether I want to fix something else or whether I'm happy with the one thing that we did fix. Eventually, I think it would be time to prepare a new release as well. It has been quite a long time since the last one. And I think we have a decent bunch of nice improvements. Check whether there's anything else that should be merged. I think there was one or two PRs which I wanted to review before for releasing a new version. Ah yeah, this one was one of them. This one was one of those. I would say we check this out and then, I mean, if it works, then it works. We probably have to fix the tests. That's probably why it's failing right now. Let's do that after the build is done here. But I don't see any warnings, which is good. which is good. It's so soothing watching these numbers go up slowly. Well, sort of soothing. It's actually a pretty interesting contrast. I get extremely unrelaxed if there's errors happening, but if everything works, it's just nice to stare at it going up. Okay. There were no warnings, right? It succeeded. No, it's fine. So we just commit that, I think. It's a change that I feel like is worth it. Let's do it very carefully. Git pull first. Git. Or do I just do a pull request and then merge it? I think that's might be. Yeah, I think let's do that. Git check out branch fixed. Fixed doc build warnings. A branch named fixed doc build warnings already exists. I apparently did that once or twice already. Git branch delete fixed doc build warnings. Git check out -b fixed doc build warnings. There we go. Git status, git add source installation windows, git diff head, and that's it. But I've only changed staged that one, right? Yeah. Git commit. Is that even the right mark for winget? Yes. Okay. Added one asterisk to make section underline. Git push you my thing fix doc build warnings. Fixed doc build warnings. Under line of sub. No, I don't. This adds one asterisk to make the underline of one subsection long enough. Label documentation. Maintenance. And I don't really do anything else. In fact, we even go as far as just to merge this because I... Let's check before I merge. Yeah, okay. We merge. Confirm. Nice. Okay, so what else? What else was there? Right, this one was also interesting. The fixed config setting. There are a few good PRs open right now that I haven't had time to check out yet. To be example, maybe some documentation ones are more or less nice to check. Actually, almost none of these are tagged yet. Let's maybe do that. Let's go over them and tag some of those. Label. This PR adds a documentation to the cyclic replace transformation with an example. Oh, that sounds nice. I mean, this looks correct. Can we check it out? Looks like a cyclic replace. It would probably look more uniform if the same object was used 4 times, but I think I'm fine with this too. And some code is better than nothing at all, I guess. This should be cleaned up a little bit so that it doesn't have unnecessary white space in it. I do like the new line before the loop, but I don't necessarily like these ones. Okay, I guess cycle replace moves or swaps a list in a cycle. This one was intended to be a list, I would guess. I think we make one recommendation, or we improve this a little bit, and then we can just merge this. I think. Let's do that. Let's do that. While this is also still being tested and stuff. And I will still want to get to this here. This I think is probably the most important one because it's annoying for everyone who uses the faded line ratio. Okay, let's quickly do this. Let's rewrite this a little bit so that it's formatted correctly. Because I do think we usually start right in the same line of the start thingy. So let's put the following suggestion. A cyclic swap of object. An animation moving objects cyclically. So that we have a nice one-line description, then we can put what he had already here. In particular, this means the first object takes the place, is moved to the place of, or actually just takes the place. No, let's use takes the place. The first object takes the place of the second object. How long is this? Probably too long. Takes the place of the second object. The second one takes the place of the third. Object. and so on. The last object takes the place of the first one. I think this is a little bit nicer to read now. This is removed, and then we maybe also first object, second object, the second one takes the place of the third one. Then we can break this a little bit earlier, which makes it better to read as well. Takes the place of the first one. Easy. Okay. What do we say? We say minor language improvements, slight reformatting to match our general docstring format. Start the review. Parameters, objects. This one should be removed. And type hints should be given, if at all, in here. Yeah, it's done. So this should be removed. Type hints should at this point only be added in code itself. Code, not in the docstring. List of objects to be transformed. I don't think we usually capitalize objects. If we do, then, well... Path arc. The archangel in radiance that the points of an object will follow. Well, that the points of an object will follow, that the objects will follow. To reach the points of the target if using a circular path arc. Wait, this is surprisingly intricate. Is this copied from somewhere? I thought so. That was copied from above. I'm slightly curious now whether if we... What does it say? It's a replacement transform, isn't it? It's just a transform. So this means the objects only change positions, but they're not actually transformed. The points are not changed to anything. The arc... how should we say? Should we say the angle of the arc? The points, the objects will follow to reach their target. can be simplified a bit. Add comment. Keyword arguments for the keyword arguments has to transform. I think this would actually work, but let's put the dot here so that the name is resolved properly. And then this example here, I would actually just recommend to do this in 2 steps. So we first create the group, then the group is arranged, then it is added, and then we play the cyclic replace. I think that's fine. I doesn't need to be mentioned. You can just play it like that. Okay. Minor changes to improve readability. Thank you very much for your contribution. In general, this is fine. I just left a few suggestions for improvement. Please let me know whether you are able to take a look, and otherwise discuss them and apply them / discuss them, and otherwise we will apply them in a while and then merge this. All right. One more done. So this was me now. This is a documentation. PR. This is now on the board. It is in review. No milestone. That's good. Okay. Close. Shall we look at this one here? The line one? Maybe let's quickly look at it. So, what does it fix exactly? Correctly aligns lines when creating a new number plane object with faded line ratio property. Is there code somewhere that I can just paste? Is there code here? Git check out main. Git pull. Ba-da-dum. So, bug. Where's our thing? There it is. We can remove at least this one again. Test, I don't particularly like. Plain test. Let's go. Manim QM. Plain test. Bug. Bug. Pi. Wrong directory. Example scenes. Manim QM bug. Plain test. Let's go. Let's go. There is an image apparently. Ooh. Can I? No. Ooh. It's angry now. Why was it angry? We need to go to media, images, bug, This one. Show me. Hello? Oh no, Explorer is dead. Oh no, it's... Yeah, this looks janky. The hell? And how is it fixed? Faded line ratio 5. $28.94. No, $29.20. How is this fixed? Your local changes to the following files will be overwritten by the checkout. Aww. What did I change? Oh, I don't care about that. Discard. Go. And then we should maybe just merge main into it first. Anyhow. Git merge main. I could rebase. Should we try? I can't... That's new on GitHub, right? I can do it somehow here as well. Update with rebase. This pull request will be rebased on top of the latest change and force pushed. Should we do that? Nah, I actually don't like it. Git reset origin. Wait, is it origin? Wait, what's the origin of this branch now? Tell you what, I will check out main git branch faded lines ratio. Check out 2920. Let's just check it out again. Okay. And now git status git merge main. Waiting for your editor to close the file. Which file? Why is it so slow? I mean, sure. Let's push, although I'm pretty sure that the problem will still be here. Wait, I could actually check which test he was failing on, right? Test number plane log. Really? Test number plane log. PyTest. Tests, test graphical units, test number. No. Wait, where was it? Where's the thing? No. Didn't I just look at that? Did I close it again? Probably. Test number plane log. Which is in which file? Test coordinate systems. It's so hard to see sometimes. Test coordinate systems. Test. Well, I mean, how many can there be? just test all of them. Unrecognized arguments. Wait, what? Minus n dist load. Wait, what? Why is there no minus n auto? Wait, what? Did I... Huh? Something not installed? It's kind of weird. How have I been running tests so far here? Setup tools is at least staying installed. Ah, PyTest is being downgraded. Okay. Ah, that must have been from when I... That must have been when I made changes to the testing thing to debug, and now it should be working again, I hope. Yeah. I remember. All good. I sort of remember. I think we might be switching to witness soon. Kind of feel like I've done enough Manim. There we go. Assertion error. But that's from a graphical test, right? Yeah. Okay. So I would be interested in how that thing actually looks like, and we have a thing for that. We should just put minus show diff. I could have actually also just called it the one test that we need to look at, not everyone. For all the tests, it takes surprisingly long. Ugh. If I did things right, at some point I recently added some code that would, if a display can't be opened, write a PDF with the chain. Yeah, it did. Nice. So now I wonder, which one do we want to have? So apparently some of the lines are different. I mean, let's look at the test exactly, maybe. So which one failed? Test number plain log. There we go. I mean, let's take all of that for a moment. And maybe just look at it separately. Class log plane scene. Then I paste the construct method here, and then we change the indentation like this. And then we change the name of this to construct. Example, Manim QM bug log plane. Log plane. Yeah, I mean, this looks okay. What did the PDF exactly say where the changes were? Ah, just in the right one. One, two, three, four. I mean, this looks okay for me. You would maybe expect that the lines would also be created logarithmically, but don't have that yet. Except if that was the old behavior. Let's check. Git check out main. No, it's just the same bug. It's the test data is just wrong. So we can just regenerate it, because that makes no sense that there are two thick lines right next to each other. No, this is just a proper bug in the. This is just a bug. So we regenerate the test data, control data. What's the branch name? Keep forgetting. Heated lines ratio. Then we set the test again. High test, set test. Tests. Test graphical units, test core internet systems. What's the test name? Number plain log. Test number plain log. Test number plain log. High test. Let's go. There is the regenerated test data. Regenerated test data. And we push. Okay, and while the pipeline passes, tests at least, we check what happened here. So for inputs in ranges, what's the ranges? Okay, so the ranges is a tuple which has 0 on the one hand, then an A range from step to the minimum of the maximum x value minus the minimum x. Okay, so that's exactly the whatever is on the positive axis, I think. Something like that. In step sizes. Okay, and where the old version just went and said if k mod ratio faded lines is 0, the new version checks whether the length of the inputs is 0, which might happen in these two cases. If it is, just add a new line and be done. And otherwise, if k plus 1 modulo the ratio faded lines is 0, then do some stuff. Question is whether it's necessary to break here. If the length of the inputs is 0, would you even get in here? You are in an enumerate of the inputs, and it's possible. What if the inputs length is 0? I don't think that's actually possible, is it? List is empty. Enumerate of list. It's also empty, so this can actually not happen. Or am I missing something? If the length of the input is 0 and we are inside an enumerate of these inputs, whatever input is right now, of one of these, then this is just an empty for loop, and we never enter this. This block cannot be entered. If len inputs is 0, then enumerate inputs is the empty list, and as a consequence the for loop is just empty. Or am I missing something? Copy, cancel over all of that. Suggestion. Paste. Make larger so I can read something. If we make an if out of that and we remove this part. Start the review. Okay. In the meantime, we can check how the pipeline is doing. It has passed both of our internal ones, so I'm happy. We can say so here somewhere. Finish review, request changes. Thank you very much for this fix. I left one comment out of curiosity. Please let me know whether you're able to look at it. Otherwise, we will apply the suggested change and merge it eventually. And also, and of course, also sorry for the wait till this has been reviewed. For the long wait for this to have been reviewed. I'm overthinking this, for having this reviewed. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, but it's fine otherwise. I really like it. Okay, we add a label, bug fix. I would really like to get this merged ASAP. It's on our dev board now. We put it in review. And this closes an issue actually. 2894. 2894. Why does this never work? Like actually, why does this never work? 2894. Well, I just edit this. Closes 2894. Is 2894 perhaps a duplicate of something else? That would be great. I would really like that. Let's check. Faded line ratio. If there is another issue, then it would likely involve that some. Oh, no, 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 no. No! What am I doing? Search! Do it! Ah, no, not really. Okay. No. Shame, but it is how it is. Alright. Okay, let me quickly see whether people replied to anything at this point. Just scrolling through the feed, but it doesn't look like it. What's that? There's a new issue that has been reported. I'm getting latic error file standalone CLS not found when I just closed in the wrong quotations. Seen an error message. Okay, the source of the problem. The package installed from my MikTeX distribution. I hate to break it to you, but you don't. How can we help? How can we help? If he says the package is installed for the MIG distribution. Standalone CLS cannot be found. The most likely reason for this to happen is that there are 2 installations of LaTeX on their PC, and it's picking up the wrong one. That's one likely explanation. Possible explanation for this is that you have more than one LaTeX installation on your machine, and Manim is picking up one where standalone CLS is not installed. Please include the full error log, both the complete terminal output and the contents of the corresponding .log file for us to be able to say more. Comment. This is not an issue with the library though, so I'm actually contemplating just closing this and having a chat with them in the closed issue. Okay, this has passed the pipeline, which is nice. Ready for review. Maybe someone is willing to take a look. Okay, and otherwise I think I am done. Don't want to anymore. Wait, didn't I just leave a review here? And I did mark this as a bug fix. It's fine. Wait, what's that? Oh, it's fine. Why actually does this K+1 fix the problem? I wonder. Well, it fixes the problem. Okay, let's close a bunch of stuff. Time 70, 30. Maybe we have like 30 pull requests open right now. It'd be nice to close 1 or 2. There's a bunch of documentation ones. And I mean, a bunch of them are in a state where we could just merge them. Oh wait, this one I can actually close. This is superseded by 3. While it is possible to work around the issue of the wrongly scaled the falsely scaled runtime, the propers by changing the class of by making what was the thing here? Circumscribe inherit from animation group instead of succession. A better and more maintainable way of fixing this is to fix the wrong behavior of succession. Close. Okay, 1 PR closed. Easy. Now I feel like I've accomplished something. Okay, I mean, we wrote a bunch of code that's pretty okay, I feel like. There's still much more that we could do, but for now I think I'm happy. So let me do the following. I'll fetch some more water or something else to drink. Maybe also a jacket. I'm getting cold, which might mean that there's a window open. Close. And then I'll be back and we will be playing some Witness, I guess. Yeah, time for puzzle games. Be right back, chat.